Hey, what's up, Ben?
Hey, man.
What's up, dude? Do you think Marcus, we've talked about him quite a bit. Do you think Marcus was upset when we were kind of poking fun at him on the outtakes from this particular show?
I don't know, but it seems fair. I mean, dude, he is always rating my jokes, and not very nicely sometimes.
Dude, he rates your jokes. I think your jokes are by far much worse than mine.
That's true. That's true. But you were trying to get him to vote Trump in the outtakes. I mean, that was crazy.
It was crazy, but it almost worked. I mean, he was really compelled in that section.
Yeah. Here's my question: why are we talking about Marcus?
I thought we were going to do an entire show on this figment of our imagination. This guy Marcus.
Dude, can we just get on with our show, please, without Marcus?
Oh, okay, all right.
I'm back! Did you guys think you're actually going to have a conversation about Thanksgiving and leave moi out?
How did he get on the show?
No, we would never do that, right? Would we? No, come on.
We wouldn't. No, we would never do that. No.
Of course, we wouldn't do it because this is not your normal Bible talk.
That is true. It's not your normal Bible talk.
All right. So, because this is not your normal Bible talk, I'd like to point out that this is the 25th. I repeat, the 25th episode, the silver episode of the Thinking Cup podcast, and it starts right now.
2 men.
Dude. Come on, dude.
2 cups of coffee.
I've never had anything like this.
1 table.
This is not your normal Bible talk.
This is a podcast.
Bringing the tough topics to sip on.
Guacamole or guacamole?
Whatever.
Mike Colburn.
I have a tendency to remain quiet.
Ben Orian.
You haven't told me a dumb dad joke yet today, and I certainly haven't told you one.
This is not your normal Bible talk.
Oh boy.
It's the Thinking Cup podcast.
Oh boy.
Welcome to the Thinking Cup podcast.
What's up, gentlemen?
Hey, welcome back to the Thinking Cup podcast. Alongside Mike Colburn, I'm Ben Orian, and in between us there, seems like you're always coming between us, dude. What's with that?
Well, it just happens to be when you're this lovely.
Welcome back, Marcus Mullins, to the podcast, man. How you doing?
Glad to be back. Glad to be back in this fun times. Just glad to be alive.
Hey. I read that something about we used to say we were going to avoid that like the plague. I think we have to stop saying that because some people aren't doing it. That was bad. Hey,
dude, Mark he's already priming the pump, man.
I am. Well, we're doing this in a little different format than we've done it in the past. We're all virtual. I think that's Mike's fault.
It's virtually my fault, yes.
Oh man! So everybody's family's doing all right today. Doing better, I hope.
We're getting on the right direction. Yeah, we aren't certain, but I know that my wife isn't feeling good, and so out of safety, making sure that we don't potentially infect anyone else with this amazing plague that's going around. This. We call it the vid. We don't want people to get the vid. The vid. So we're doing good. We're getting better, man.
That's good. Yeah, there was some stuff going through my house. It wasn't the vid. It was just whatever it was. But that's why we're virtual today. We're glad you've joined us, whether you're joining us on Spotify or iHeartRadio, Pandora, YouTube, wherever you get your podcasts. Thanks for making us part of your playlist this week. So we're all drinking something different because we're all in different places today. Mike, what are you drinking today?
Well, I was going to ask for Marcus's opinion, but, what are you drinking? And watch this. This is the beauty of being in control of this. Marcus, what are you drinking? Marcus, where did you go, Marcus? Marcus!
Can you hear me, Marcus?
This is like having a bad president just hovering his finger over the nuke button.
That's all right. I had to do it. So what am I drinking? So I went, for the sake of Thanksgiving, I went tradition. I went just the traditional route. I know that there's a lot of traditions that people have for Thanksgiving. And so I decided to not change up the traditional Onyx Delight. I've got a traditional Onyx Delight made with the regular bean that normally gets made, the traditional Monarch that gets made with it. So, and it's delicious. In fact,
Maybe say traditional one more time.
Traditional.
There you go. Thank you.
Traditionally, I would say traditional in a more traditional manner.
Thank you.
But Marcus, what about you? Are you a traditional person?
Oh yeah, I'm a traditional, and traditionally, I drink hobo coffee. And so,
hold on for the listener. Help them understand what hobo coffee is.
Okay, so the first time I was on for the Father's Day special, I thought, well, I got to stop and buy my coffee. So I hit up the old Come and Go, got me some Hazeltine, which I felt was quite wonderful. And I entered Mr. Colburn's house, in which I was mocked unmercifully for poor taste and what I refer to as hobo coffee. But because I'm a peasant and all I have in my house is a Keurig, I am drinking Green Mountain Pecan Maple that I made in my Keurig, and I'm drinking it with my Justin Timberlake cup.
Well, if you've got COVID and you don't have any taste, then I guess it doesn't really matter, right?
And
but what makes that really funny is he thought he was going to be all, and I think the word you used last time you were on was you bought hoity-toity coffee.
That's what I thought. I mean, I'm used to being at the office pre-COVID and drinking like Folgers.
Yeah,
Look at Mike. It's like, oh.
I mean, that's like worse than like a bad dad joke gone wrong. That's like, man, that's got to be painful. I feel sorry for you.
And I drink it black too. So,
bless your heart.
Oh man, guys, what are we gonna talk about today?
So, well, hey, tradition, man. It's Thanksgiving this week, and thought we'd talk a little bit about tradition. So let's have a conversation. All right, so here's the question I want to know, guys. This week is Thanksgiving. We thought it'd be fun to have Marcus back. Thanks for coming back on the show. And
glad to be here.
Can you believe this is our 25th episode?
I actually can't believe that. I mean, I can't believe people continue to listen to you clowns.
And I just do.
Yeah, I just assume the only reason is because I spiked the ratings on the Father's Day one, and that's the only way that survives you.
For the record, okay, we are very grateful for all of the 3 listeners that are listening, and we're grateful that you got us to 4. Like that was how valuable. Like that's
25% better, brother.
But here's what's really funny is the Father's Day episode is probably the most downloaded episode that we have, and it's probably because Marcus has listened to it 50 times at least.
What can I say? I'm a narcissist. I like to hear myself talk.
All right, so you told us some great Father's Day stories. Tell us what your favorite Thanksgiving Day dish is on Thanksgiving Day.
I actually have 2. I have one that I used to eat and one I can no longer get. So my mother's mom, Grandma Juanita, we always went over to their house for Thanksgiving, and she made traditional dressing. not stuffing, but dressing, which is more of a Southern thing. And I mean, my aunts, my mom, everyone has tried to pinpoint that, and they can't quite get it. It was so good. But now, she's passed on. So I probably think now my favorite thing is mashed potatoes, man. Mashed potatoes with gravy. Hell yeah. Love them.
You're kind of you like chicken and all that kind of stuff. You like that better than the turkey?
Oh, I do the turkey. I like to do the turkey. It's just more of something to do. But when it comes to the turkey, like, it's kind of funny because we have, like, my mom wants the white meat and I just want the leg. I like the dark meat, just like I do in chicken. So we kind of just piece it apart. But I mean, you get a big old turkey, you eat so little of it. It's so much work. So I was like, I just love mashed potatoes. You can load them up with garlic if you want. You can put some sour cream, butter, salt, pepper, throw a little gravy on there. That's Southern bliss.
Southern bliss. Nice. Mike, what's your favorite dish?
Well, we had this conversation with some of our business partners, and it was funny, some of the responses that if you could get rid of one thing, what would it be? And I think the number one response was the green beans, the green bean casserole. I know, I don't, but they got pretty descriptive. They're like, it's kind of like snot in a bowl. I mean, it was like, I'm like, I don't know about you guys, but you got some nasty snot if that's the case. Like,
I love green bean casserole.
So no, I actually really like cranberry sauce. I like cranberry. I'm a sweet. I love sweet stuff. So, but I will agree that it wouldn't be Thanksgiving without mashed potatoes. Like, and in order to do mashed potatoes right, like, you literally have to have a tub of butter on it.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean? I mean, you have to plop it on top and let it sit and melt.
Oh,
so
man, yeah.
If I could inject it straight into my vein, I would.
True story. Yeah, the thing about it is I like the green bean salad. I like the dressing, the stuffing, whatever you call it. Cranberry sauce is not my favorite, although my wife finally started making this sauce that is pretty good. I don't need the sweet potatoes. To me, the sweet potatoes are a vegetable, and most people like to eat them sweet with sugar and marshmallows and all kinds of stuff. That doesn't fascinate me personally quite as much. That's the one side dish I can do without. Give me mashed potatoes instead. I'm happy with that. Growing up, I was a vegetarian, so we never had turkey at our table. We had, have you ever had tofurkey? It's like fake turkey made out of tofu. It's not actually that bad. I like it pretty good. So we do some of that at our table.
I get a big crack out of the fact that these fake meat companies try to make it look like, sound like just tell people it's not meat. Like,
no. See, I have discussions about this all the time because the company I work for is getting into a lot of fake meats. And people are always like, why do you make a fake hot dog? Why do you make a fake hamburger? Why do you? And I try to let them know that a lot of people are vegetarians like 20 years into their lives. So they like hot dogs. They like hamburgers and all the stuff that comes on it. So it just makes it easier to eat. You get a can of Linkettes or Big Franks and you go get hot dog buns. And so meat eaters that just don't understand, they can't quite get that. They have the same question Mike has, but I'm always like, you got to realize some people used to eat a beef hamburger. So the Impossible Burger is a compromise for them if they've made a choice to go vegetarian. That's just my explanation.
It works. And, it's really funny, though, because I'm starting to meet more and more vegetarians who are not doing it for necessarily health. They're doing it for save the planet mentality. I met a lady the other day because at Walmart, in the frozen section, you can buy food from Morningstar Farms. They have vegetarian sausage links and very vegetarian, substitutes, chicken dishes, and so forth. And she goes, "Oh, are you a vegetarian?" And I said, "Yes, I am." She goes, "How long?" And I said, "Well, my whole life." And she said, she says, why? And I said, oh, it's lifestyle, health issues. And she said, oh, I'm doing it to save the planet. She said, if I could go out and be with PETA and I could be out with, and she kind of was coming down hard on me because I wasn't trying to save the planet with maybe it does help. I don't know. But there's a growing number of people that are interested in it from that standpoint.
So I got a question then, since this is not your normal Bible talk. How do you think the people in the Bible dealt with? Do you think they were vegetarians back in post all of the? What do you guys think? Do you think that during Old Testament times that they were vegetarian and they ate tofu?
Since tofu came from China, I'm not sure that they had any idea. I don't even think not your normal Bible talk. I think that they probably didn't eat vegetarian in those days. I don't know that it was that big of a deal to them as it is today. We have different understandings of things today, and so I don't see it as that big of a situation to get all bent out of shape in a biblical standpoint. I think vegetarianism is a better way to go if you can, but not everybody fits that. And there's new diet things out there. There was a doctor who some time ago was trying to get people to eat based on their blood type. Do y'all remember that? And they were talking about, if you have a certain blood type, you need to eat a lot more red meats, or you should eat chicken or this or that. I don't know if I buy into any of that, but I will say this. A few years ago, I weighed over 320 pounds, and I decided I wanted to lose weight. And my wife showed me a program, and she said, hey, you can lose weight on this. And I said, I'm only going to do it if I can be a vegetarian. I was legalistic about my vegetarianism. And we would go to her families. My wife is from Argentina, and so they would have different meals, different foods at their table. And I never took any of it because I wanted to be hardcore vegetarian. But when I started this health plan, I was 2 weeks in, and I realized I wasn't getting the protein I needed. So I started eating a little chicken while I was on my health plan to break it down and to be a little healthier. I was able to lose 85 pounds. So it's not just about being healthy, because you can be a vegetarian or even a vegan and not be a healthy person unless you're being really careful in how you balance your diet out.
Mm-hmm.
But speaking of being healthy, you can't have a good Thanksgiving dinner without dessert. What's your favorite dessert at Thanksgiving dinner?
Yes. What isn't? That's
called pumpkin pie, because that stuff's gross.
You don't like pumpkin pie, Marcus?
I'm a pecan guy, man.
Yeah, I like pecan pie.
So we've asked this before. Is it pecan or pecan?
Depends on where you're from.
Are you from the north or the south?
He's from the north, so it's pecan for him. It's pecan for me. And
I've always said pecan.
Well, then you just didn't quite take to your Yankeeism.
Now you're making up words now. Yankeeism? What is Yankeeism?
Figure it out.
I like my favorite. See, non-traditional is apple pie. That's my favorite pie. And I love pecan pie as well. I will eat pumpkin pie. It's not my favorite, but I will eat it. But I like oatmeal raisin cookies along on the side, and maybe a scoop of ice cream. I know the Pilgrims didn't have it, but I don't care because we get to set our own traditions, right? At least
that's right.
Marcus, maybe you'd like pumpkin pie better if it was pumpkin pie.
No.
No.
What do you do at Thanksgiving that's not traditional? That most families, we talk turkey, mashed potatoes, green beans, we talk all those things. Do you do something at your family dinner table that's not traditional?
So the only thing I could come up with is I feel like Thanksgiving gets slighted because my daughter and my wife are so obsessed with putting up Christmas decorations. I mean, I won't let them play Christmas music until after Thanksgiving. So I was on the road last week, and Danita called me, and she's like, haha, we're playing Christmas music because you're not here. And I was just like, so, but I don't like it because it's like, we usually eat lunch for Thanksgiving. And then it's like, you eat lunch, you're full, you sit around, talk a little bit, and then all of a sudden it's like, all right, let's get the decorations out. It's like, we can't even give it the whole day. And then it's talk about Black Friday and everything. It's like, we did 4 hours of Thanksgiving. We said we're thankful for, and then we just plowed into Christmas. And that drives me nuts. They're all like, are you going to put the lights up? And I'm like, no, Thanksgiving.
I'm just glad that there's a little bit of a universal law that you cannot play Christmas music until after Thanksgiving.
Oh, I can't stand it. Because both the girls in this house absolutely love to play and sing Christmas music. They love it. They would sing, if it was up to Danita from this point on, every Sabbath would be Christmas music and nothing else. I'm like,
yeah, I'm the same way. Christmas comes after Thanksgiving, so let's at least get one day past Thanksgiving. You want to go on Black Friday and start Christmas? I'm okay with that. But Thanksgiving Day is about Thanksgiving and football. And then after football is done, then we can do then we can do some Christmas music. But I'm also you mentioned church and having Christmas music at church. The first weekend after Christmas, we're past Christmas. I don't care if that falls on December 26th. I've moved on. Christmas is over on December 25. When the sun sets on December 25 and everybody goes to bed, elves and everybody else already went back to the North Pole. So let's quit talking about them and let's move on and wait for next year. That's kind of but I'm the only one in my house that feels that way.
I mean, you think about it, even in the Macy's Thanksgiving Day parade, here comes Santa. You know, it's like he's already just shooting himself in there. Like, all right, it's my time. I'm like, come on. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm good waiting. I'm good being done with it at that point. It's I'm like you. I don't want to rush. I don't want to rush Christmas. I enjoy Christmas. I enjoy it very much. But for me, Christmas starts after Thanksgiving, and when Christmas is over, Christmas is over. But you're right. Thanksgiving is about Thanksgiving. We have lots to be thankful for. I think we have a lot to be thankful for this year, even though it's been probably one of the harder years in my mind's memory. And maybe we can talk about some of those thoughts after the dad joke segment.
Sounds great.
Warning, dumb dad jokes ahead.
No!
So for those that aren't aware, we have to admit that the person on that segment saying no, it's actually Marcus.
No!
I'm so glad that Marcus sounds like a cartoon character.
Marcus rates every one of our jokes every week. It seems like he'll call or he'll text and say, all right, your jokes were better this week, or no, they weren't that good this week. So Marcus, you got a good joke to start us off with?
Yeah, I'm going to hit you with a Thanksgiving Day joke.
All right.
So, what song should we listen to on Thanksgiving? Not Christmas music, but what song should we listen to on Thanksgiving? It's all about that bass.
Wish you could dance a little more for us.
We got to make a little meme of that.
It's all about that bass. Please don't. It's all about that bass.
We'll use it in the next introduction to the Thinking Cup podcast.
Oh gosh.
So guys, I've told you there's a lot of things that I've done in my life, and one of them, believe it or not, I used to be a lumberjack. I know that's surprising, but I know the exact number of trees that I cut down. It was 2,417 trees in my lumberjack career. You want to know how I know that? Because every time I cut one, I kept a log.
Oh, groan. I got a Thanksgiving joke for you. What did the turkey say to the computer? Google, Google, Google.
How does DuckDuckGo?
Oh.
Oh man.
So,
All right.
Thanksgiving, sometimes you have biscuits, you have rolls, sometimes there's honey. Speaking of honey, why do bees have sticky hair?
Why?
Because they use a honeycomb.
It's all about that bass.
It's all about that bass. About that bass. It's all about that bass. About that bass.
What did the turkey say to the turkey hunter on Thanksgiving Day?
Don't shoot.
Quack, quack, quack.
Oh,
I got those from fourth graders.
we can tell.
So I broke my finger today. Actually, I broke it, but it's okay because on the other hand, I'm completely fine.
What do you call a turkey the day after Thanksgiving?
A sandwich?
Lucky.
That's good.
All right. What was the turkey suspected of?
No idea.
Foul play.
Oh, that's good. I was at Walmart looking for a turkey for my wife, and while I was standing there, there was another lady right in front of me, and she asked the guy behind the counter. She goes, "Do these turkeys get any bigger?" And the guy's like, "No, ma'am, they're dead."
Guys, this is not going in the right direction.
I think our 3 or 4 listeners is down to like nada.
We got nothing. So if we have anyone still listening, I promise you this next one will absolutely make them leave. Okay.
All right.
So what kind of pants do ghosts wear?
I don't know.
Boo jeans.
Get us out of here, dude.
It's all about that bass. About that bass. It's all about that bass. About that bass.
Warning, dumb dad jokes ahead.
No! No!
That's what our audience says every time those load. No.
I just like the idea of like envisioning Marcus as a meme in that section. The no, I think
we could come up with something.
Maybe we should turn him into an anime, like some sort of
No!
Yeah, so what are you going to use? Homer Simpson or?
I don't know. Got to be careful if he's going to come back for the 50th episode.
At this rate, I don't know if you boys are getting there.
Well, on that note, Marcus, I'm thankful for you.
Right?
Goodness gracious.
That was harsh. All right. So in the second segment, let's talk about some of our favorite memories of Thanksgiving or some of your favorite traditions that you have in your family at Thanksgiving. What are some things that stand out to you that really make that day special?
For me, the thing that stands out the most to me is it happens every time, and I don't know that it's a great feeling, but that feeling after you eat that you like feel like you're gonna throw up because you ate so much food, right?
You like it?
No, I don't. But unfortunately, it's a tradition because I don't know why I always overeat, right? Like always. And I'm not the type of person that likes to, I don't like to eat more than, like when I get full, I like to just stop. But for whatever reason, on Thanksgiving, it's like you have full throttle to eat like way more than you absolutely need. But on a different note, I've got very fond memories of when we had Thanksgiving at my grandma's house up in Michigan. She had a small, tiny, literally, I don't even know how much square footage. It was just a small home on Ruby Street. She lived in it for decades, probably 30 or 40 years. And we would cram like 25 people in a like 1,200 square foot home. I mean, it was ridiculous. and we'd be crawling all over each other, and we'd be eating all kinds of food and just having a good time. And I don't know. I think those days are gone right now with COVID. I mean, now we got governors telling us we can only meet with like 5 people, so.
Yeah. And is it Minnesota or somewhere up there where even families that get together have to wear masks while they're together? Did you hear about that? I don't know if it's Minnesota, but it's somewhere up north there.
Apparently, even though, well, I won't go there. I won't go too political on this show.
Yeah, because you've never done that.
What are you talking about?
Yeah, stop that. It's unnerving.
Marcus, what's your favorite memory of Thanksgiving or a tradition that you guys have?
I've got a memory and a tradition. So my favorite memory was my senior year in high school. I went and saw the Cowboys play the Green Bay Packers in Dallas on Thanksgiving Day.
Mm.
And that was just, it meant a lot to me because the Cowboys and the Lions are on every Thanksgiving Day. And so I was kind of surprised Mom and Dad let me go, but I went down there and with a friend and we watched the game. We scalped in, watched the game when we had our Thanksgiving dinner at Denny's that evening, which is kind of sad, but the game was fun. Actually, Aikman was hurt and Jason Garrett was the quarterback and he won.
Yeah, that's right. I remember that game.
And kind of to echo off Mike's, so we spent Thanksgiving at my grandma's and grandpa's house. And my big thing was just seeing my cousins. I'm real close to my cousins. I mean, my eldest son is named after one of my cousins. And basically being raised as an only child, you didn't get a lot of interaction. I mean, you got interaction at school and stuff, but it was just great to hang out with family and kids of your own age and playing and just having a good time. We had our own table, the kids' table. So I always really look forward to that.
That's cool. Yeah, when I was a kid, we went to my grandmother's house. My grandparents lived here in Northwest Arkansas. In fact, my mom's parents and dad's parents lived 12 miles apart. So we got to see all the grandparents and all the cousins. Usually when we come up, if not for Thanksgiving one year, for Christmas the next. But there, for me, not only is it about the meal and the family time, but for me, I do enjoy football. I'm a football fan, and I love watching the Cowboys play. I remember my wife and I had been married maybe 2 years, maybe 3 years, and we flew out to California to have Thanksgiving with her family, her brother and his wife. I don't know that none of us had kids yet, so it was just the 4 of us. And I told Sylvia, I said, before we fly out there, I want to make sure that on Thursday afternoon I get to watch the Cowboys play. That's just all there is to it. And otherwise, for me, I wanted to watch the game more than I cared about the rest of it. And so she made sure, and I'll never forget. Now, these folks, my wife is Argentinian, so her whole family could sit and watch soccer all afternoon. When the World Cup comes on, don't mess with anybody. They're just doing nothing but soccer. And I could care less about soccer. I can watch it for about 4 minutes. I'm like, they're not scoring. They're just kicking the ball all the way down to the one end just to kick it all the way back to the other end. It's boring. My humble opinion. But football, on the other hand, so I was watching that football game, and my sister-in-law comes out, and probably every 10 minutes she goes, "Are you bored? Would you like to go do something else?" I'm like, "Leave me alone. I'm enjoying the game," And to this day, that's the one part. If we're going to a church member's house or we're going to family member's house or a friend's house, make sure that we're not having dinner when the football game is on.
100% agree.
You guys think that there's going to be a football game this Thanksgiving?
Yeah.
There's going to be a football game, but I'm not sure if the Cowboys are going to be in it or not.
Yeah, they'll show up. They may get their tails whooped like they have been all year, but
this is a down year. We're playing for. Unfortunately, at 2-7, the Cowboys are still in the playoff hunt, and they're still in the division race hunt. That's really sad to say. I think we can safely call it the NFC least, but I hope they're playing for draft picks at this point.
My only memory. It's so funny because I've never been a football guy. But I do remember that of all the things that were watched on Thanksgiving, because we're Michigan, like that's where I was raised, right? So it was like the Lions are on, that was the, and I'm like, okay, well, let's watch them. I don't know and care about it, but let's watch it anyway. So it's funny how football plays such a big role in these types of holidays.
Have you guys made, now that you guys are married, have your own kids? Marcus, your kids are older than Mike's and my kids. Have you guys built some of your own family traditions?
Yeah, we have. What's really is my kids both like to cook. So one thing that's evolved over the last few years is we typically just have my mom over. It's typically just the 5 of us. It's a very simple gathering. And everyone makes different dishes. Like Avery's really good at pies and stuff like that. And Avery will help me do the mashed potatoes. Now I'll do the turkey. I've been trying to teach Aaron kind of how to do the turkey and how to prepare it. But that's really the big thing that's changed as the kids have gotten older.
Cool. Mike, what about you guys?
It's funny, of all of the holidays, we don't really have a whole lot of tradition around Thanksgiving. The one thing that we do, and we do this at multiple occasions, but specifically around Thanksgiving, we enjoy going around and talking about what we're grateful for and what are we thankful for. And, because in the midst of all of the pandemic and the civil unrest and, the questions and trust of the government and all the stuff that's happened, in 2020, there's a lot that we can be thankful for. I mean, just the fact that we're breathing, that we're able to have technology do this kind of stuff, have conversations, engage with people. There's plenty of things to be thankful for. And so that's one thing that we've always done, is sit around the table and go around, hey, what are you grateful for? What are you thankful for on this season? So
what are you guys thankful for this year? Something that you can share in these last 2 minutes before the segment ends.
I'm thankful for crappy coffee.
Hey, I just want to tell you, you gave me some of that the other day, and I had to send you a text message, man. It was a sad day when I ran out of that crappy coffee.
I know. I'm just telling you.
I'm drinking this today. What is that? Allegro coffee. And it's not bad, but it's not crappy. Well,
I guess really, mine would be considered crappy.
No, yours is hobo.
I'd spit that one up.
No, in all seriousness, I'm very grateful for, for health, for, a business that is healthy during these environments. I know there's a lot of people out there that have struggled. And this isn't to put any kind of, put down those experiences. I am very grateful where God continues to bless, and I'm very grateful for an opportunity to serve Him the way we do and to impact other people inside of our business. And I know I got to admit it, but I'm grateful for you guys.
Especially me.
It's painful to say that, but I'm grateful for you.
Especially Marcus.
He makes those comments when I'm not 3 feet from him and can reach over and go other way.
What, Marcus? Where'd you go? What?
Where'd you go?
Where'd you go, Marcus?
Over the button. Finger on the button.
What
about you, Ben? What are you thankful for?
I want to echo there's a lot of people that are out of work, and I'm thankful that both my wife and I are gainfully employed and able to provide for our family. I'm thankful that my family hasn't really been hit with COVID. I mean, that's especially with what Danita does day in and day out, her exposure. So just real thankful that everyone's healthy. I mean, it's kind of weird to have both the kids here doing school and me working here. We're all here, but I'm thankful for that. And then on kind of a funny note, I'm not thankful for crappy coffee, but I am thankful for Sam Pittman.
It's looking up over there in Arkansasville, isn't it?
Yes. I needed it because when the Cowboys went down, I at least need the Razorbacks to come up. Otherwise, I'm going to be jumping off a bridge or something.
So, Marcus, what did you say about Sam Pittman going to the bank or going something about getting a quarterback?
So why would Sam Pittman go to the bank?
Why?
To find his quarterback.
Yeah.
So bad. So bad.
Wow.
Dude, we've got to think about something else we got to get into this next segment. What are you thankful for then, Ben?
I'm thankful, like you guys. I'll echo you guys and go one step further. I am thankful for my family. I'm thankful for my kids. I'm thankful that we haven't seen the COVID here. I'm not as frontline as Danita is. She's in the hospital every day, but I get called to make visits, and I've been called into some homes that, in this time period, you just want to be careful, but we haven't had those things. I'm thankful that despite the challenges of this year, things are finally looking up. Maybe on the COVID front, they're talking about having a vaccine that's available for folks if they choose to use that. And it seems like things are settling down in society a little bit. And I'm just thankful that we have life and health and good friends. And, I'll tell you, as I finish my thoughts on this, I absolutely love doing these podcasts. And I'm thankful, Mike, to have a great partner doing it. And Marcus, it's really fun having you on. And I'm glad you came back for another episode with us. And maybe we'll find another spot down the road for you to join us as well.
Yeah, wait till I spike this one.
Ben, here's the problem. Seems to be in the middle of it.
Dude, always come in between us.
That's what I do, man.
All right, let's get into this next segment.
A word from the Bible.
In the beginning was the Word.
You guys, do you guys remember that episode of Seinfeld when Elaine, that character in Seinfeld, she was played by Julia Louis-Dreyfus. She has this classic line. She goes, "Yeah, I met this lawyer. We went out for dinner. And I had the lobster bisque, and then we went back to his place, yada, yada, yada. I never heard from him again." And that episode has been ranked as one of the most memorable episodes in a TV sitcom of all time. It's actually what's that? It's right up there with where Lucy and they're smashing the grapes. Y'all remember that episode as well? Mm-hmm. I was thinking about our word for the day, and I was thinking about yada, yada, yada. And if you look it up in the dictionary, yada, yada, yada is boring, empty talk. That's what the dictionary says, boring, empty talk. But I wanted to do something today where a word from the Bible was something having to do with Thanksgiving. Psalms 100 verse 4 says that we need to enter into his gates with thanksgiving and into his courts with praise, to be thankful unto him and to bless his name. In the Hebrew, that word in Psalms 100 verse 4 is the word todah, and todah means thanksgiving. But what's really fascinating is the word todah is a derivative of another word. In English, we would say, I'm running. Running is a derivative of the word to run, or I ran. And so we change the ending to change the tense, whether it's past or present or future or some kind of thing going on currently. And that word in Hebrew, that todah, is built off of, if you read it in the original, it's built off the word yada, or if you will, yada. Yada, in its base form, means to cast or to throw. It's commonly translated in the Old Testament as confess or praise. In fact, this is where it gets good. The Hebrew words create word pictures, the concept of casting or throwing. So if you can just imagine, if you're going to throw something, I'm left-handed, you throw something, your hand is going to be open. And in the idea of Scripture, to enter into his gates with thanksgiving, to enter with yada, or praise, is to cast or to throw. So you would enter into God's courts with your hands lifted. Psalms 134 verse 2 says to lift up your hands in the sanctuary and bless the Lord. Yada is an attitude and an action, and it's rooted deep in the Christian's heart that comes up with this idea of thanksgiving for what God has done for us, who he is and what he does for us. So I give you this word, yada. Yada, yada, yada. It's not just meaningless common speak. Yada is a word of extreme gratefulness and gratitude for who the Lord is and what he has done. And that's today's word from the Bible.
A word from the Bible.
In the beginning was the Word.
Well, that's the word. Mike, Marcus, who's got the last word?
Well, I got one thing first. I'm not going to have the last word because that's Mike's job. But
Only if Jen says so.
That's right.
That's right. So we're going to test your Seinfeld knowledge. So she makes the statement that she went out and she had the crab bisque and then yada, yada, yada. And Jerry says what?
I don't even remember because I just remember.
You skipped over the best part. And she goes, "Oh, I talked about the crab bisque."
So now we know Marcus is a Seinfeld junkie too.
That's for sure, man. I even got Aaron cooked.
I have to say that Seinfeld, of all the shows out there, Seinfeld was such a classic. It was so good, so hilarious. And
the fact that it was shot so long ago where there weren't even cell phones, they're talking on landlines and stuff, but it's still relevant. The way the content is still relevant in 2020.
Well, you remember the speed dial dial-off? Who was number one on everybody's?
Oh yeah, it was all about competition to see who was number one on the speed dial.
Wait, I'm only number 4. Oh, that's good stuff. Mike, give us the last word.
Let's get into the final thoughts, and I actually would love to hear just some quick thoughts from both of you as well. But my final thoughts are this: number one, it is much more difficult to do these shows virtually. So I love the challenge. I love the fact that we're doing these shows, and I love the challenge. I am super grateful for both of you guys. I think that we need to express more gratitude, more appreciation as we go into Thanksgiving. I think we need to be very aware of some of the traditions that maybe we just, I know for me, it was a little bit hard to think about, well, what traditions do we, because we get so used to doing the same things over and over and over again. And I think that would be a good conclusion to 2020, because if anything, 2020 has blown everything up that we were used to doing. So I hope that as you guys get into Thanksgiving, that you switch it up a little bit, that you change things up, that you are aware of some of the things, that we're all grateful for some of the things that we maybe take for granted normally inside of this situation. So I'm going to pass it over there. I want to hear Marcus's final words.
Oh, all right. I feel so honored. It's all about that bass, about that bass. It's all about that bass, about that bass. So
be careful, man, because I might pull you out of the stream.
Yeah, I know. You're the bad president with your finger over the button. We've already gone over that. Okay, so it's all about that bass, about that bass. It's all about that bass, about that bass. My final thoughts would be, as we go into Thanksgiving this year, it's really good to step back and almost, Ben and I have been talking about football and how much it means in our lives. And yes, the Cowboys game will 100% be on in my house. But up until that point, I'm not a big fan of the parade or any of that stuff. I just like to play music in the house and keep everyone off their cell phones and just enjoy each other and talk. And I mean, I realize these people live in the same house as me, but sometimes you just got to unwind, let your guard down a little bit, talk about what you're thankful for, talk about your aspirations, and all different kinds of stuff. And I really feel like that's really important when you're spending time with family. I feel like in 2020, I'll echo what Mike said. In 2020, he says, has blown up. I just say 2020 blows. So, but we're all so addicted to technology and stuff. It's just good to unplug, talk, break bread with your family, be thankful, and enjoy their fellowship.
Good stuff.
That is good stuff.
Ben,
yeah, I appreciate you guys saying that, and I think one other thought about football. As much as I enjoy it, football is the least important part of the day. It is an important part of the day, but it's the least in the priority list. It's And I like what you said, Marcus. It's about keeping the cell phones off and enjoying each other's time. It's about, we make memories. And yes, I make memories with my son and with my family watching the game. Even when the Cowboys are 1-15, and they're 2-7, could be a 2-14 year. It's about making memories with the family. It's about spending time together. It's about laughing, and we're going to play some games. And I agree with you guys. We have so much more to be thankful for than not. And I am thankful that my wife and I still have jobs, and I'm thankful that even my son has a job through all this time. And I'm thankful that I have the opportunities in my line of work to help others, and to be an answer to their prayers for some of their needs at this time of year as well.
Good stuff. Well, that is the show, and we want to thank you guys for watching. We appreciate your time. We are so grateful for guests. We're so grateful for Mark. Where did Marcus go?
Dude, where's Marcus?
I don't know that we can have him on again. He keeps dropping. He's late to the show. What, Marcus? Where? Oh,
Marcus. Where's Marcus?
I'd like to let the audience know that is not me. That is the man in the middle right now jacking with me, all right?
Wait, hold on. I just learned something. Marcus is no longer in between us, Ben.
My goodness. Marcus, thanks for joining us again. This is our 25th. This is the silver episode, man. And appreciate you coming back on and putting up with Mike.
Yeah, glad to be here. I'll put up with him anytime, I guess.
There he goes again, getting in between us.
Maybe we'll have you back for Valentine's Day or something.
No, I'm the last person you want on Valentine's Day. I'll run that right in the ditch.
Maybe we'll bring Danita on instead.
That'd be even worse.
Oh my goodness.
Oh, guys, we appreciate you. Thank you for listening. If you'll do us a favor, if you like it, subscribe to the YouTube channel, share it. Wherever you're getting your podcast from, we are very grateful for you, grateful for being patrons of this show, even though you're only the 3 or 4 that listen. Thank you so much.
Yeah. Hey, and also, I just want to say,
it's all about that bass, It's all about that bass,
Have a great week. We'll see you next time, maybe, or 2. I don't know. I went totally blank. I was going to say something and I was like,
thank you.
It'll be all right. It'll be good.
All right. Hey, guys, let's play musical chairs.
Oh, jeez. You make me nauseous.
I'm getting some more B-reel because he's going to be playing the music during this time.
Yeah, well, this is the last time we let him host. Ben, you got to host next time.
What did you say? What, Marcus? What did you say?
What was that, Marcus?
It's all about that bass, It's all about that bass,
Can you speak a little louder, Marcus? A little louder.
I'm more. If you keep doing that, you're going to catch me saying a bad word when I come back on. It's not going to go well.
I have a bleeper. We can bleep it out now.
Oh, goodness gracious. That was so good.
I prefer not to be the first one to say a bad word on the podcast.
Right before you said that word, we could do a word from the Bible.
Unfortunately, I have the distinction of being the first to swear on this program.
Yeah, your conversation about
yeah.